All right, guys, it's actually 10:37 p.m. It's still March the 6th of 2024. And what I revealed earlier, what I posted earlier, the first part of this two-part video log series that uh, publishing on YouTube. Uh, and it's also going to be, I guess, shared on LinkedIn and possibly elsewhere, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be on LinkedIn and YouTube. What it reveals is that uh, I do have a $10 million uh, trust fund and estate accounts, and it's going to be transferred to my American bank account, to an American bank account that's going to be designated and accounted to just me, Sean Dexter John, 5'8", from the Commonwealth of Dominica originally, but a United States citizen. And so, yeah, earlier today, I was sort of in a rush. I had to run to the store to get back to so just to make sure that the AT&T technician would, uh, would have me sign the necessary documents after a proceeding or succeed in him finishing the installation of my internet service. We just got new internet service here at this particular location here in Orlando, Florida. I'm going to be here for another few weeks before I make the transition to my house in Coral Gables, Florida. Let me explain what's going on. A lot of the folks who I went to Howard University with, hold on, a lot of the folks that I went to Howard University with, they found out who I was. Okay, they found out what I've revealed to you guys consistently over the past few months or so. I am Jesus Christ. I am God. And I'm here on a mission. I was born via natural birth in this particular life in the Caribbean, and I was moved to the United States of America. All right, and they were approached by FBI agents who said that he must be some sort of demon who keeps showing up on the planet to sacrifice for human beings, good or bad, and that's why he's always being condemned to this sort of situation of having to travel all over the place with family members who are always unsure to what their particular mission is and how uh, safe they are in protecting Jesus Christ toward making this world a better world. But anyway, I'm gonna walk Rashida Williams into heaven in a few weeks. But she's the sort of person. This is the reality. She has my daughter, my biological daughter. She has my biological daughter, Keisha Williams. She was actually born Keisha John. She's not 15 years old. She's not 12 years old. They've lied about her age so many times to try to keep my daughter away from me, to get my $10 million. Federal agents who have made themselves associated with Rashida Williams for trying to enter that bank account, that trust fund, and sharing the money and actually duplicating it and sharing it with the rest of their particular community. And there were other federal agents outside the FBI who participated. And there were women who I dated or who were introduced to me who were in anticipation of becoming my wife and having my children before they were told of the reality that I do have 3,000 wives in heaven, licensed angels who enter this world with me on missions to deliver 10,000 children. And I usually not marry, I usually have children with 2,000 additional women who are dreaming into this world from the townships surrounding the city of God and angels, my city, the center of our government, the residential city of myself and my angels, toward delivering my 10,000 children because some of the angels remain in heaven. All right? Some of the angels remain in heaven, and some of my children, a few, remain in heaven while we are here. Uh, they remain awake in heaven while we are dreaming here into this world. The rest of us are dreaming here into this world on missions. And I do have additional kids sometimes just to maintain the connection with the rest of heaven and to even maintain connection with earth even more directly. So I always have 10,000 children, and they are usually my 10,000 children from heaven. And it's a bit complex. Okay, it's a bit complex, but in every lifetime, and I've been here on this planet consistently over the past 9,500 years on missions to change the paradigm consistently over and over and over and over again, refining the human approach, making sure that the human journey is evolutionary and never regressive, and making sure that we're working toward getting to kingdom come in 500 years. Okay, I have 10,000 children in every lifetime. Okay, I am about to walk into heaven, and I'm about to return as Khaled Hassan. With a more corporate look, I'm going to look half white for the most part. I'm going to look half white of some Native American descent and half African, half black, you know. And Rashida Williams, she's going to return and she's going to have an alter avatar. And she's not anyone else's woman. She's not going to have a secondary husband or boyfriend and this and that. No. She's going to be stuck at my side at all times. And so is Patricia Roberts Fitzhugh. Okay? Patricia was Cleopatra, and she's Rashida's mother in heaven. Okay? So that's the reality. Those two are going to be stuck at my side. I'm going to be very serious. I'm going to be very serious. These women were told by federal agents that Sean Dexter John, he's going to die no matter what. He's going to sacrifice to make sure that the world does not go into some sort of annihilation mode or Armageddon. And we want to know which one of you women will be able to get at least $1 million or maybe $10,000, this and that. Rashida is the only one who said, yes, I do have Sean's daughter, and she's the only one who went through misery over the past 12, 15 years alongside me, even though we've been separated over the past 12 years. I take it into heaven with me. She's been at my side consistently on every mission over the past 2,000 years and preceding that, always around with the angels with me for the preceding 7,500 years. Okay? I'm the only man in heaven, the only being in heaven, male being who has children or a wife or wives. I do understand that offends certain people. But these men and women have had a lot of fun over the past 10, 12, 15 years. And even before that, the agents, in being disrespectful in demonstrating that they are not too sure if that's right. No matter what I say, no matter the content of the briefings they received, it never mattered. The egregiousness of their egos. Yes, I am father of the universe. All life has emanated out of me. All life came out of me. I was the firstborn in this universe, which was a colony territory of my original universe, my original universe. Firstborn soul and all life of that particular colony territory uh, evolved out of my genetics, my biology. Okay? I created an independent and sovereign and autonomous universe out of the colony territory. I separated it from my father's universe when I became nominal God, even though I was the son of God from the very get-go. I was God over the particular universe with everything being centered around me from the get-go, from the beginning. But I became nominal God, and my father and the rest of the celestials, they said it's time. And I created an independent, sovereign, and autonomous universe out of our colony territory. I got material from my original universe and I rematerialized it into a comprehensively designed and articulated uh, universe of physicality, authenticity, reality, and functionality. Uh, Countless star systems and 3,000 planets of exhibited life. The 3,000 angels that I do have, essentially my partners, my wives in heaven, holy beings, They were my daughters, my original daughters, one on each of the 3,000 planets exhibiting life, inhabited by life. They are quite ancient, over 1,000,000 years old, their souls. Okay? Rashida is my wife. Anyone who says otherwise will have to meet a lot of pain, and excruciating pain. And it's not up to anyone else. It's my decision, and it's hers. And she made the decision a long time ago to be with me forever, not just in this particular life. No matter what sort of conversation or washing you guys have done, it's not going to be able to work. My agents always step in and say, well, give her another chance to be able to articulate why she was with him and why she believes that they are bonded forever and that he is still the love of her life. She just does not feel safe with all the federal agents trying to kill him and take his money away and make sure that this planet is never religious or theocratic in any sort of way ever again, as if that's all I'm about. Even though I've explained everything consistently over the past few years and even before then. Okay? So all of these women that I went to Howard University with who showed up on campus preparing to have my children, or preparing to be my wife, and especially those who said yes to having my children as a collective after being briefed in belief that they were going to have the children of Jesus Christ and possibly be celebrities and this and this and that, have failed the particular test, but I'm not going to be harsh. They're going to be separated from their current husbands or boyfriends or partners or whatever they think they situation they're in, and they're going to be entered into my program officially. And the celebrities, all the famous celebrities, females, who are counted as angels, wives of mine in heaven, they're going to find themselves in that situation. And right now, it might seem improbable to say that Beyonce is going to end up having a child or two of mine, but it's not improbable to me. You know, that's a fact. She's going to have my children. Carrie Hilson, she's going to have my children. Christina Milian, she's going to have my children. Britney Spears, she's going to have my children. Okay? Hillary Duff, she's going to have my children. Taylor Swift, she's going to have my children. Okay? So I want you guys to understand that. Those are just examples. And thousands of angels hidden. Most of them, yeah, they are gorgeous. I created their avatars while I was in heaven and narrating the journey that I would go through to be able to get to this particular point. And I saw the hell that I went through, that I would have to go through. I made sure that that my angels' avatars would be gorgeous and beautiful and very attractive, superficially. But I also made sure that the intelligence level would be high and that they would be able to cope with the mission that they signed up for. They signed up to be caught by me, Jesus Christ, fisher of men and women, to get them out of hell. The narrative said that Satan would show up and destroy their lives and demand that they end up doing porn, being prostitutes, losing all their hair in their heads, or losing their lives. Satan always finds a way to get to us. But my father and myself and my team in heaven, we always find a way to get around it. And it's always in shock and awe. I always have 10,000 genius-like children. And we always take over the particular empire, alter it, reform it into a more holy empire or more holy country. Okay? That's what I've done over the past 10,000 years. That's what I did in Egypt. I made Egypt progressively more and more modern. It's hard to say to us living in the contemporary or the modern era, but that's what we did. Me and my children and my angels in Egypt and in Persia and in China and in India and elsewhere. The agents, they always show up, and Satan, he always shows up. He does not believe Satan is a force that's contracted via certain individuals, agents. They're usually agents streaming into this world from the second dimension, and some even from the third dimension. Okay, they do not believe inherently, without knowledge, that that's the reason to their peculiar perspective and their vicious hate, that beings deserve to be forgiven. They do not believe that human beings deserve to get to the next paradigm of a more perfect uh, a human condition. They don't believe that I'm right in forgiving humanity no matter what I go through. They always try to prove to me that human beings are not worth my time. They always try to prove that life is just a vicious experience. And whoever they desire or like on a personal basis, that's who ought to be in an easy life, productive life, as perceived by them, and wealth, or privilege, or freedom, or a lack of restriction, and so forth. That's Satan. That's what I've had to deal with. So these women, they're not going to be raped by me. They're not going to be coerced into being with me. They're my daughters turned wives. I love them dearly in heaven, and they are shockingly in love with me in heaven. They can't let go of me. Okay? They can't let go of me. And they always find a way to end up right here with me, wherever I am, to deliver my children. Okay? And to be nuns when I'm not at their particular house, or when they are not at my particular house, completely nuns for at least 12 years, and sometimes 15 years, and sometimes 30 years, and they always stick around. They never leave. They always gain uh, uh, an attachment with me on a respective mission that does not allow them to walk away from the situation. In my old age, I'm going to be stuck with Rashida in the house for the rest of the life tenure. And even preceding that, when we first get back, I'm going to be stuck with her at all times. We are going to go to other angels' houses. They're going to come over to my house. They're going to have conference meetings on a regular basis and being isolated from the rest of the country, the rest of the earth. Okay, that's just the reality. Okay? I want you guys to understand what I'm saying. It's time to let go. You guys are going to have to let go. I said yes to only having one. Before I was told that I was honestly Jesus Christ, it was confirmed to me. Before I was reminded that I am Jesus Christ, that I am God, and not just a male angel who has female angels being sent to him to deliver angelic babies and so forth. When I was actually told who I was, and the hate that I was encountering, that I would encounter, I said, okay, just leave me alone. Just leave me and Rashida alone. I don't need to have 10,000 children or whatever the hell you guys are talking about. I have no memory of heaven. I know I'm an angel. Just how I grew up and the kind of person I am, and my wisdom, and being quite introspective and growing up and so forth. So I knew I was an angel innately. Okay? I don't want to ever say that I spoke to God as a child, my God the Father as a child, but I do remember feeling as if I was Jesus Christ as a child. And when it was said to me at times, I honestly believed, based on the kinds of sensibilities that I had, and the sorts of perspective that I evolved, and my analysis of humanity. At all times growing up, I analyzed humanity unusually, and I knew no one else was doing so. As a child, I knew no one else was doing so while I was growing up. I was sure of it. Okay, I've known that from the very get-go. But it was not a fact to me. But the hate I encountered in Washington, D.C., and elsewhere, I said, just leave me and Rashida alone. We're going to have a family. I don't want to be a famous rapper. I don't want to be a famous actor. I don't care about any of that. I just want to be a lawyer, an attorney. I want to be able to help poor people out. I want to be able to transform the African American community. And I know I'm going to be president or prime minister or something in the Caribbean, or maybe of a Caribbean union. And I'll be stuck in Miami happy with Rashida and our children. That's all I asked for. Did not bother anyone else. When they took her away from me and hid my daughter from me in their minds. My agents were formed and new agents sent over to me. And when I was briefed and I was taken to certain dimensions so that I didn't know what I was doing, I am literally at this point all knowing in getting the mission done. Literally all knowing at law and government, and literally all knowing in damn near everything. Okay, I am Jesus Christ. I am God. I am Jesus Christ. I'm Buddha. I am Yahweh. I am Brahma. I am Allah. Jesus Christ and Allah. I am Jesus Christ and Allah. Alpha and the Omega. I showed up, kind, soft-spoken. Once again, listen, this is not a joke. I want you guys to understand how the world works. I showed up as Jesus Christ. Soft-spoken, kind, scared of the world, considerate, profound in wisdom, and you guys rejected me. You guys spat in my face. I advocated on behalf of the poor. I advocated on behalf of a global society, and I did so gently without offending anyone and being stuck in my misery in being a field slave for the Central Intelligence Agency over the past 12 years without bothering a soul, without annoying anyone with the hell that I went through in being able to protect my then good faith as he introduced to me or reintroduced to me. Did not bother a soul. I audited, did what I had to do, documented everything, helped out everywhere I went, being charitable and so forth. Did not bother a soul. But after I was done doing my auditing and all the other reports that came, from all over the country regarding the treatment of minorities, especially immigrants here in this country, at the border, the southern border especially, in New York City especially, in Ukraine where people were murdered, as a deal between the United States government and Russia, innocent civilians, Ukrainian civilians, were assassinated, literally executed, based on their belief in Jesus Christ and their willingness to accept the EU as having future jurisdiction over Eastern Europe. Executed in saying that Russia is bad, get the hell out of our country. And America said no to that. Said no to them being able to feel protected and safe and believe in that. I'm telling you, the outrageous stuff we encountered when the complaints came from all over the United Nations, the infrastructure of the UN, that the United States government, Russia, and China had formalized and formulated a deal to dissolve the United Nations. When it was communicated to me that China was no longer going to support Africa developing further than it has been over the past 50 years or so, that it's going to renege on its deal, when it was revealed to me that nuclear weapons was going to be a permanent fixture of our global society or our fragmented global society, that we were in a situation of perpetual war at risk. When it was revealed to me that Aborigines were going to be made extinct, literally evolved out of any phenotypic value demonstrating some sort of African lineage or dark skin, and so forth. Something actually announced on the radio by the Australian government, something actually sent via emails to government workers all throughout Europe and the Australian government. So many things came to my office, my home office, my office on the go, my agents, my advisors, and so forth. When it no longer became a personal issue, when it no longer became me, give me my daughter back, and please give me my wife back, when it was no longer that particular issue, when I was no longer biased and saying, I'm going to have to fix this country and I'm going to have to be quite assertive in doing so, I said, okay, it's time to announce myself, to reintroduce myself. I'm Khaled Son. I'm Sean Dexter John, Sean John, and Khaled Son, Alpha and the Omega. I'm going to be quite demonstrative in fixing the world and in saying, Hold up. You never propose any such deal like that ever again. And nuclear weapons, they're just not going to be part of our future. And there's not going to be any continental military buildup. I'm serious. So I'm going to have nuked 5 cities over the next 2 or 3 months, and no one is going to die. We planned it up perfectly. The sectors of those cities which are going to be nuked or bombed by nuclear weapon are going to be evacuated preceding that, days in advance. These cities and these countries and the respective governments, they've been briefed by the United Nations, the Central Intelligence Agency, and INTERPOL. Okay? But we are going to send the right message to the whole world. So New York City is going to be nuked within 4 weeks. And if it does not occur in 4 weeks, it'll be imminent by then. I promise you. I don't want one soul, one individual to die at all. But it has to happen, and it's going to happen no matter what. So we're going to drop. Okay, it's going to be purported that the Russian military drops 2 atomic bombs, H bombs, advanced H bombs on Lower Manhattan. All of Lower Manhattan is going to be completely destroyed. There aren't residents in Lower Manhattan for the most part. It's going to be easy to evacuate it 2-3 days in advance. 3 days later or so, central Moscow is going to be nuked. 2 or 3 atomic bombs. Possibly 1, but 2 or 3 at this point, based on how the Russian government has responded to the global plan that we have prepared for the whole planet. Okay, so government sector, central Moscow is going to be destroyed by atomic bombing, advanced atom bombs, and it's actually going to cover for what happens in heaven. It's going to be done via heaven. The atoms are going to be split. All atoms in central Moscow are going to be split, and that whole particular area completely destroyed and dematerialized. That's what's going to happen in Lower Manhattan. Central Pyongyang, central Beijing, and government sector Istanbul, Turkey, they're going to be nuked, but it's going to be a bit different. It's going to be a nuclear warhead. Those parts of these the respective cities, they're going to be completely destroyed. So I'm going to outrageously and shockingly, even beyond what I did regarding Hiroshima and Nagasaki as Du Bois, I had to do that. Okay, the Japanese, they were serious about destroying Los Angeles. They were serious about destroying Hawaii, and so on. And they were serious about helping Hitler destroy the whole world and its good fate. Okay, they were certain that they were the Aryan forces of the Asian republics. That was their mentality. They were made convinced by Hitler that they were actually white and European and just acting a bit Asian for secret and covert reasons. They actually believed all of that. There was nothing that I could do. I had to let Satan do his job and then respond. I have to respect the right of Satan to exist. He has to demonstrate to me on a consistent basis that human beings are too flawed to be God over their own world. And there's nothing I can do. That's how it is in every universe. The respective God of that universe has to respect Satan's right to exist, but defeat Satan nevertheless. Yeah, so I nuked Hiroshima and Nagasaki and no one died. And we have fake videos from heaven, purporting that people died and got burnt alive. We sent the right message, military buildup and the domination of a whole world or segments of the world by military force is a big no-no. Whether Satan responds or God responds, it's a big no-no. That's the reality. That's how things work. Okay? So I sent over the order to FDR, and he did as I told him. I was very humble as W.E.B. Du Bois, Webb Du Bois. I did not need fame. Okay? I said I'm going to be the first world president as Sean Dexter John, Anointed Son. I'll be humble in this particular life. I won't say too much. I'll make sure that the civil rights movements, as I have planned, works out perfectly. I was Abraham Lincoln. I did the job. I got the job done. I don't have to brag. I don't need much in this life other than my family and seeing African Americans out of hell, gradually being taken out of hell toward their destiny of leading the world toward Nirvana, toward kingdom come. Not Nirvana. Nirvana is a long way from now. It's going to take 100,000 years to get folks from the bottom of heaven to popular Nirvana 100,000 years later. Just forget about that particular endeavor. Get into heaven. That's the objective. Get in Earth and its constellation into heaven. Okay. So yeah. So I'm not gonna be a ruthless person. Okay. I'm not a ruthless person at all. I'm not wicked at all. No one is gonna die for the most part. There will be no intent to have anyone hurt. All right, and we are usually proficient in doing so. Yes, as Jesus Christ, I did nuke Jerusalem and Rome. As you can see, the Colosseum in Rome, it's still there, completely nuked. I did that. They said, "What is nuclear weapon?" And to us from heaven, it's trillion of years old, nuclear and technology and so forth. Everything is done from Nirvana. The atomic bombing of cities, done from Nirvana, from heaven. We just purported it as a vicious burst of flames from heaven, wanting the Romans to be to accept Jesus Christ, aka Julius Caesar, as God over all, because he's here to bring heaven on earth to the whole Roman Empire, and that's what I did. I brought heaven on earth to the whole Roman Empire. Trust me, it was heaven on earth for Rome, for the Roman Empire back then. Comfortable, pleasing, uh, rights, what we would consider even modern rights, and so forth. It was paradise, yeah, for that particular era in history. Okay, it was not perfect, but I did the job. Okay, I nuked Jerusalem and I nuked Rome. Those were the two cities that I nuked as Jesus Christ in Nazareth. Okay, I got a new avatar. I resurrected after dying on the cross. I went brain dead after dying on the cross. I resurrected and I walked into heaven with Rashida, Mary Magdalene, and I returned as Titus Caesar, aka Julius Caesar, secretly Jesus Christ. When it was time to be elected by the Senate, Emperor of the Roman Empire, I revealed myself as Julius Caesar. I lost weight. When I first re entered Earth, I was very stout and muscular as Titus Caesar, known as Titus Caesar. Okay? So I lost some weight and I became Julius Caesar. When I was done creating the Roman Empire and destroying the Senate and its conspiracy to reinstate the belief in multiple gods or deities or demigods and this and that, I faked my death and I went to Egypt to find Rashida's mother, Cleopatra, Patricia Fitzhugh Roberts, and I acquired and used my alias, Mark Anthony. The history books are going to lie about these things. What I'm telling you is not a lie. We provide white lies in history for hiding intelligence and security secrets. I was Mark Anthony. Okay? I'm not a liar at all. All right? I know what I'm doing at all times. I'm going to get human beings to the end point. So the young men who said yes to having me murdered, who said no to me ever being happy, who said no to me ever seeing my daughter ever again, or even ever, they literally thought that I had no idea that I had a daughter, and they scared me out of the country so that I would never believe. They actually thought they kicked me out of the country. Okay, and they requested that I be murdered on sight if I ever re-enter the country, or if I ever asked to see Rashida and my daughter ever again, or this and that. Consistently, pathologically. All 3,000 angels, we tested their purported husbands and partners. Okay? I'm tired. I don't have to explain this anymore. I'm tired. And the belief that they were going to prove that they were in love with their real husbands, who were going to be their real husbands secretly for the rest of eternity, and that Rashida had to purport that she had a real husband too, that she was going to be leaving a husband if she was to say yes to walking into heaven with me, or being in my life again, or revealing my daughter to me. I'm going to have to be vicious in destroying their marriages. I'm not going to have to do so myself, but the CIA is going to be quite ruthless. Rashida is not going to save you guys' marriages. And she's not going to purport that she's had a beautiful life and she's had a loving husband who has been protecting her from me and my demonic values. My agents are going to be ruthless. You guys are going to get the fuck out of my angels' lives, and they're going to be brought here to me, right here in Central Florida. I'm going to give you guys 4 to 5 weeks to find your husbands new wives, and you guys are going to go to the high schools and find 17 to 18-year-olds to prepare them to be wives to these young men. And they're going to destroy these men later on and tell them, you guys were never men, you guys were boys the whole time, and you guys will never have a woman of your own ever again. You guys will jump from women to women, and then eventually none. You guys said no to Jesus Christ being happy with one woman. You guys said no to Jesus Christ ever having sex again. You guys said no to Jesus Christ ever being happy again. No, you guys are not going to get out of hell. You guys are going to learn how to raise your children the right way, and you guys are going to leave my women alone. They are my wives in heaven. They are special, holy, and they were my daughters, and they'll always be my daughters in heaven. And wherever I am, to me, that's what they are, whether they know it or not. They're dreaming into this world with no memory of heaven. But they know that I am right, and they know that I'm serious. Okay? My agents, they're all white, all handsome and tall. About 5,000, my royal brothers dreaming into this world in handsome white avatars. Okay? They're my brothers. They're going to be quite vicious and being loyal to me and making sure that I'm happy. Okay? They know who they are. They're all being told they're going to have to coalesce around me here in the state of Florida and leave everything behind from all over the country and move here to Florida and be as vicious as they need to be to protect my pride, ego, and happiness. That's enough of Sean Dexter John suffering over the past 15 years on behalf of humanity. And you guys saying he's just a dumb nigga for having died on the cross to save humanity. That's crazy. Okay? So I'm not going to have to explain anything else on this particular matter. And if I do, don't get annoyed, okay? I'm going to help them ease out of their relationship. I went through so much pain losing Rashida. Excruciating pain that I went through. So no matter what she says, no matter what these other women communicate, what I have said to you guys is the truth. What I've communicated to you guys on a consistent basis within the reports requested of me and other published material, all of it is true. All of the material, all segments of the material are true, honest, authentic, based on reality, not augmented in reality at all, not simulated or replicate or some sort of replication or reenactment of reality. It's real. Okay? So that's what I was trying to explain to you guys. All right. I'm not an envious person at all. And don't hate me for saying that I refuse to envy a person. I remember saying that back at Harvard University. And when they saw that I was actually serious, and I never envied anyone, they said, "Oh, he must know who he is. Or he's trying to be disrespectful or offensive and saying that being a celebrity is nothing to him." What kind of person is this? They were brainwashed. The folks at Harvard University, they were my friends initially, and the FBI could not handle it. They were my friends. The folks that went to Howard University, they were my friends. Okay? So that's the FBI. Satan. Satan's vessel here in America, the FBI. What's its objective? It's not a real law enforcement agency. All it does is keeps black folks below, and it keeps white folks happy and safe. That's all the FBI does, nothing else. It keeps white folks safe, and it keeps black folks at the bottom. And it has a quarter of black folks who are going to be within the system of the federal government of the United States, and they keep hush for a nice house and a nice car or two, and they say nothing, and they actually become part of the conspiracy, and they believe that it's a conspiracy against niggers, egregious and niggerish blacks, and that's how they live with it. That's the reality. That's Satan, the FBI. That's Satan. That comes to an end. All right? I'm here. And I'm going to give you guys 30 days or so to prepare for the New World Order, to prepare for the order of integration. Okay? To prepare for the new paradigm. All right? I love New York to death. I created it. All right? I did. I created New York. I love it to death, but it has to pay up. The whole city of New York said yes to migrants being killed if they did not leave the city, and to their bodies being dumped in the Hudson River for everyone to watch float by. We audited the whole city and it failed. So I'm going to make New York City superficially, politically, economically, socially, the greatest city in the world. It's going to be Dubai 2.0. It's going to take 5 years to get it to having the tallest skyscraper in the world from this present point after it gets nuked. Lower Manhattan. In 20 years, it's going to be shockingly impressive, and it's going to be known as the world capital, officially, nominally, and effectively. Okay? I'm not bad at all. There's no getting around that. Okay? But it has to pay up. All the New York folks who are trying to keep my angels from me, and by any means necessary, who are trying to prevent immigrants from being happy in America, and so forth. I don't have to, that's the reality. I'm done. I'm done explaining. All right, that's enough. That's enough. We've gone through this for 500 years. Uh, I did scare New York. Back then, I created what we call the miracle of New York, the concrete jungle. As Du Bois, I was born in Jamaica. And when I got to America, I demanded, as a youngster, New York becoming the greatest city in the world. I requested for my father the concrete jungle. I created New York. I was the architect of New York. I love New York to death. Okay? So we called it a concrete jungle to cover up that I was born in Jamaica. And I got a new avatar. I was 5'7", 5'8", in college at Howard University as Du Bois. My last name was Harris or Johnson. I'm not going to reveal that to you guys. I got a new avatar. I became 6 foot tall and a bit tough looking. Still, I looked the same for the most part, but I was clearly in alpha, in omega mode. When I got back from heaven, I was in omega mode. My father sent alien civilization, androids to this planet to scare the federal government of the United States. Okay? When the earth stood still, that was me, Keanu Reeves. Before I re-entered as Du Bois, I jumped back into Earth in a white avatar, a crazy alien, and one in the federal government of the United States that I don't play any fucking games. Okay? That's how crazy I am. I don't play games. You guys are going to do the right thing, and you guys are not going to hurt me, and enforcing you guys to do the right thing. All right? I am Neo. I am the one. Got it? Keanu Reeves is one of my sons in heaven. He really is one of my royal sons in heaven. He really is. He clearly is to everyone. You guys figured that part out a long time ago. All right? The white doofus actually makes sense, right? He did a good job. All right? But anyway, I'm not bad at all. We did scare. We sent uh, civilizations, android civilizations, folks from the supreme realm. They dream into the first dimension, into outer space, rogue planets and stuff, and they travel throughout the universe and looking for Jesus Christ's planet. And they always get here on time to save Jesus Christ, me, from Satan, and so forth. All right, and they're here right now, and they're going to cover up for Nirvana, requesting them uh, hover over New York City while Lower Manhattan gets nuked. And they'll be hovering over Moscow when Moscow gets nuked. And they'll be hovering over Beijing when Beijing gets nuked. And Pyongyang and Istanbul. Okay?